look at it with this shelf and getting it together because it was driving me crazy. And I had, my issue was finding somewhere to store all of my material. This is all the material that I've printed out that I need to have ready to go, because if I don't, as you hear in the background, it will be chaos. So I like to have it all ready to go and filed up, and I did pretty good with labeling everything and clipping off what I need to, so that's there. And the issue was I had these already, and they've been repurposed so many times, so they're old and misshapen. And I just replaced that one. That's new, but here's the one that was up here. So yeah, so I decided to keep the color scheme because it went with these new bins that I had purchased recently, so that's it. But the basket I wanted, the little white basket, it was not working because one, it was really big and bulky, and the files wouldn't stand up. They were lying down, and I didn't want that because then I would have to dig through, and I don't like that. But this holds them well and is not crowded. I can pull it out and bring it with me, and I prefer the clear file boxes with the lids, but won't fit on the shelf, one, and then I would have to have somewhere to put it on the floor, and I don't want it on the floor. I don't want it on top of the shelf, and then it costs more. Actually, I think it's like $6, and it's like $6 for these three of those or something. But I didn't want to do that. I just didn't like it. So I went ahead and just replaced these, and this is working for now. So what I'm doing now is I have started pulling off clutter. And watch out, go back in there, okay? He's coming out. And I will call you guys in a little bit. Give me a few more minutes to get this straightened up. I am, a lot of the stuff on this shelf is taking up space, like Hooked on Phonics. I have the parts out that I need that we're using on a regular basis, and the box is here, and it's obviously a lot of space, so I'm getting ready to move it. I have somewhere to put it, as well as Hooked on Math. The parts are up here, so I'm getting ready to move that. And then this other math game, what is this Learn to Count. We don't even use that, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But yeah, I'm pulling off. I have pulled off a lot of these are my personal books that were in here, and I had to come to the reality that I do sit here and read, but I don't read all of them. I don't need all of them in this room at this moment, so they are going to go into my own closet, and that's where they'll be. It's just I'm the type of person that I have to see things, and if I don't see them, I think there's nothing. But yeah, I know what they are. I just love my stuff. So I'm going to clean up all this hot mess, pull all this stuff down, and it should look a lot better. I already took down the mailbox magazines, my yearbooks, the big ones, and took off something that was old and needed to be trashed. So I had space for that. And then I have my today's mail over here. Go back in there. And a pile over there full of curriculum for next fall. So I need to not share that yet, because that's going with all of that, well, most of that you can see, next year's curriculum. So I will haul all of that eventually, sometime this month. Hopefully everything will be in. Like I said, I think I'm doing pretty good to have figured out what my system is And it works. So I just cannot stand chaos, clutter looking stuff, and I don't like to have too much stuff. It just drives me crazy. And so I'm the type that if I haven't used it in a year, then I don't need it. And it's, you know, a matter of, okay, I'm going to save it for the next child, but I have to legitimately ask the question, am I actually going to use it for the next child? Will it work for the next child? Or sometimes it's guesswork, but you pretty much know your child's learning style and if it's going to work. And if you've held on to it for a year and you don't need it, you haven't picked it up, you don't need it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's just simple as that. If it's something that you legitimately know that you're going to use in the future, you're really going to use it, hold on to it for another year. If that child's not ready for it, at the end of the next year, if you don't use it, it's time to get rid of it. And really, I would say the end of the first year, but I'm, you know, giving some grace. Because we tend to collect things that we think, oh, we'll use this, you know, we could use this later. I try not to collect things that are years and years down the road, because I don't want to be storing all that stuff. If I find it, I'll find it again, you know, if I need it. So I'm really picky about buying things. We have Saxon. One. I'm not particularly sold on it. Now that I've looked in it, it looks very basic and simple for my kids. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I really don't. I'm mulling it over because I know what we're using now is awesome. They love it. So I don't know, and I don't want to just hold it just because, oh, this is Saxon, I have Saxon. I don't want to hold it because of that. So this may be something that I may, I think the other book is in, yeah, it's in another box. But I'm not going to sit here and hold on to it thinking, okay, I have 2 more kids coming up. If they're going to start out the same way I started the other ones, I'm going to run into the same issue. I don't think they will use it either. So that's one of those things I have to be brutally honest with. And for that matter, since I've seen it, I'm not sure that I would use Saxon. I know for middle school, high school, we're not using Saxon. So, and I tend to stick with the same curriculum. So, you know, it's one of those things I have to evaluate and say, do I really want to keep it? That may be something that I will be giving away to somebody in need in the future. So we'll look at it in the next couple of months, like in the summer. I'll, you know, go through a couple pages and see if they like, but yeah. Other than that, I'm getting ready to hurry up and finish this little project up right quick, and I'll bring you guys back once I get a little further. I'm not going to say finish, but a little further in the project. So you guys give me your thoughts and your comments on this, and also on discarding things, and you know, how do you determine what to keep and what not to keep on a legitimate level, or do you just keep everything? I know this for families, large families, it's particularly difficult because you have so many children and everybody does learn differently, and you know, you have to fill gaps for everybody. So I understand that's taken into account, but
got some yogurt.
Okay. Again, you have to, you know, whittle down at some point because your school will be overrun and the kids get older, and the older they get, the less they need. They don't need all this. I'm looking at tiles, this type of stuff, these flashcards, those little things in that cubes and magnetic letters and all that kind of stuff. A couple more years, I won't have any of that, any of it, and I will be so glad.
I didn't know that the sink can wash toys.
Yes. Be careful. Take your spoon, because they will have outgrown that. They won't need any of that. So, you know, file folder games and all that kind of jazz. They won't need all that stuff, and that will just, I'll be free. The room will be so clean, so organized. But for now, I need to make it work, because I can't think in chaos. The kids can't think when it's chaos, when it's clutter, when it's just a lot of stuff. That's why I don't keep a lot of stuff on the walls, because it just kind of messes up everybody's thought process.
Mom,
yeah.
I don't want it.
Okay. So I'll be back. Hey guys, I'm back, and it is now 3:30, and I'm sharing with you what I quickly put up from this morning. So the first thing I did was take the Read Around the World books and put them in the basket right there. That way they just weren't lying on the side and looking cluttered. And I do take them off after I log them. I take them out, and once we've read them, and put them back on the shelf that they belong on. So there's that. And everything else is still up here. And once I do the haul, the curriculum haul for fall, I will house all this stuff. It already has a place to go. So none of this, well, I can't say none of it, but most of the rest of this will be gone. And this, I don't know, it's just been a catch-all for these cards. I still need to organize, and I have something to do with them. I just haven't done it yet. So I'm working on it. But for the most part, I can think, because it was just, I don't know. It may not have looked cluttered or, you know, look fine, but to me it just looked cluttered. And I told you guys I needed glue. I got glue. So I will be back with the rest of the file folder games and activities that I have been working on. Files, the SRA portion of the Hooked on Phonics, the comprehension portion. So it is now out of the box. The box is actually still on the floor down here, and that's just because I'm kind of tired. I have to put in a closet. I'm only 5 feet tall, so that requires me to stand on chairs and all kind of stuff. So yeah, it'll get there sometime between tonight and tomorrow. I'll get in the closet, because that's where it was originally. So I'm gonna put it back in there, the math and that math game. And yeah, so anywho, back to this. I pulled down one of these, and all this has is the Fridge Phonics letters in there, and it was stuck on top of the shelf, so I just pulled it down. And then I have a recipe book that I am making, and then just my cookbooks, because I do my meal planning in here. So I have cookbooks in here, and I added another bin. There's another one, and this is for middle school. All of the curriculum, printed materials and things like that are in here. And this is the Israel unit. So I can actually take this out of this, there we go, of this folder and file it once we're done, because we won't need it anymore. It'll just be filed, and then I'll add the next unit in. Let's see what's down here. On the bottom I have all my what am I trying to say? My curriculum binder. When I laminate things, the activities for the kids, like the tangram mats and the cube mats and things like that, all that stuff is in here, and I've showed this plenty of times. It's in here. I found that to be a good place to store it. I hole punch them after they're laminated, and I put them in there, and they're organized according to pretty much subject. So they're easy for me to just pull it out, or even let the kids pull it out, and they pick out what they want to do for their you know, their activity. We have our science biology binder with all the curriculum in there. The test assessments are in here, and my homeschool binder is here. So my when I first do my lesson plan, I start off in here because there's a notebook in here, and just notes and all kinds of stuff. I showed you guys that before. In these little paper trays. I found these at Target in a dollar spot a few years back. And so the Hooked on Phonics books that we're currently using are in here, and a set of flashcards are in here. And then what is this? Oh, this is Aesop Fables. I think just some random stuff down here that yeah, just some handwriting miscellaneous stuff like coloring sheets that I kind of keep in there for odd times. And there's our Russia flags. We're getting ready to do Russia for our Galloping the Globe. Empty bin. So put it up there for decoration purposes. This one has pretty much the rest of the file folders that I am getting ready to, the ones that I just showed in the last two videos, the games. But I am getting ready to do something else with them as far as storage. So all of them are not going to stay in here, but it worked to put them in here, just the same as the other, you know, files over here of my curriculum. That works out really well. It's not messy. It's not crowded. I can easily get through it. I can pull it out, and it's fine. And then just some books and manuals and things that I pull from on a regular basis, pretty much, with the exception of, let's see, what is this? What's your preschooler? Really, it's about to be a discard. What's your kindergartner? Discard. Yeah, that stuff's about to go. But I have the rest of these series on the other shelf, on another shelf. So other than that, it's looking pretty good. And then take it over here. I had this little basket sitting on top of my table, my desk here, and it just kept getting on my nerves because it was in the way. But it has a lot of little things that we use constantly, like tape. Normally I don't keep tape out because the kids will get it, but I threw my tape in there. I have some glue sticks that I just let the kids use. A couple of envelopes that I just stash when I'm doing the folder game, some colored pencils. What's down in there? Index cards, these little binder clips, just little stuff like that. But it was getting on my nerves, so I actually cleaned it out, and I used these little L hooks because this is wood. This is 100%, so it's not going to it's not going to damage it, other than the little holes. So I attached it there because on the other side I had already attached this, and I just use this mainly when we're cleaning up stuff and I find little odd things, and I just toss it in there and clean it out. And in fact, I had just gone through it, but it works to have this as a sidecar. So I'm always finding ways to rig things Yeah, it works. So, and then I don't think I'm gonna show you guys this, but I used to do this all the time, and I finally went back to it. The little shoe organizer, and yes, it's pink, but we do have some pink in here. I'm not going to go buy another one. I don't need to. I just repurpose. But what it has is a lot of what do you call these games? Computer games. In here there are the craft sticks, crayons, paint, which mostly need to be thrown out because they're empty. Or I can actually make some more. That's why I haven't thrown it out. But the watercolors, color pencils, these little magnetic letters I was talking about earlier. I know it's getting dark over here. It's rainy, but those are in here. More craft sticks, or maybe the top one is crayons. I don't know what's in here. I thought it was, oh, I see what it is. It is cookie cutter letters. And we use those for all kind of things. But I put that up here. And it's working well. So the kids can grab pencils, they can grab crayons, and it's off the table, and it's not in here because this thing was not working. There was everything I was trying to kind of containerize common use things. You know, markers, which I don't have out, scissors, no, glue, not Elmer's glue, the white one, but that kind of stuff was not, it was falling all over the place. So this has been working. And over here, drop this camera. Okay, sit down because I'm tired. Whew. It's dark out there, kind of. So up here I did clean this off. I just have my current this is April, May mailbox magazines, and I just pulled them all out and put them back at the end of the months that I need them, or whenever I work through them I put them back so that I don't have a ton up here. And then what's under here? Oh, just a couple of, what is this, NASCO and Lakeshore Learning. I think that's what that is. And so now the work boxes are accessible again because there was a mess down there. But that's pretty much it. Everything is cleaned up and back organized. I have a couple of things. I don't know if when I shared free resources, that's what these two boxes are. One of them has to do with money, one of them has to do with health. That stuff is awesome, and we are using it. So that's there, and then the programs over there that I have used forever. Awesome, the success. And then down here I just used a little pink band. Actually there's something I'm not sharing yet, curriculum, and I do receive periodicals, Family Fun and Parents, and what is that other one, Rachel Ray. That's what's in here. So when I have a little free time I just grab something to look through, and that's that. But I can move it out of the way so that they can get down there to math, and it's cool. But everything is all organized the way it should be, and I'm not stressing anymore. The only thing I haven't done was sweep, which the floor was mopped yesterday, but the rest of the room is pretty, it's decent. I got a couple things down here, and yeah, it's really nice. So I hope that gives you a little inspiration. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's doable. And yes, if you guys notice, I did put the table back, and I pull it out so it's floating off of the wall so that we can use it, but it's against the wall again because it was not working. The feng shui was off. It was not working when I turned it the long way. It worked for a little while, but then it kept getting in the way because there was no room this way. And I actually wanted to add another one, which I can do if they're this way. So that is something I'm looking at doing. And then I'll probably stagger. I don't know if I'll stagger the heights, but we need a little more table space. But yeah, I could not stand that table being floating off that or turned sideways. It just, I don't know, they were always crowded up on each other and it just didn't work. So I put it back over there, and it makes the room look a lot bigger the way I want it to. You guys enjoy your day, and like I said, leave me your tips on what you do with outgrown curriculum or things that you bought and you don't, you find out you don't need, you can't use it. What do you do with it? Do you hold on to it for the next child, or you just donate or sell or give away? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.